The Chase Sapphire Reserve and American Express Platinum are two of the most popular premium travel credit cards, and each of these cards have their own specific benefits that are going to be best for specific types of credit card users. So if you were considering getting one of these credit cards, or maybe you already have one of these credit cards and you want to make sure that you made the right decision, then this video is for you, because in this video I'm going to do a full comparison of the American Express Platinum and Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'll compare these premium credit cards across 3 different categories, which will include everything you need to know about these credit cards, including their point multipliers, annual fees, specific credits, intangible benefits, and redemption strategies. Then I'll discuss which card is best for you based on your preferences, as well as my opinion on which card is best, and my strategy for getting the AMEX Platinum and Sapphire Reserve in the future. So as always, we're just gonna jump right into the video, so make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below, as it helps support the channel and I would really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so without wasting any time, I'm gonna get right into the first category that I'm going to use to compare these two credit cards. And that first category is going to be based on their annual fees, welcome bonuses, and point multipliers. If we start with the American Express Platinum, there are a couple different versions of this card, including the Charles Schwab and Morgan Stanley versions. But for the sake of this video, I'm mainly going to be focusing on the regular AMEX Platinum. The regular AMEX Platinum has an annual fee of $695, which is one of the highest fees of any credit card out there. But before you completely write this card off, there are a ton of benefits that can easily make that annual fee worth it. The welcome bonus on the American Express Platinum is going to be to earn 100,000 Amex points if you were able to spend $6,000 or more in the first 6 months. If you were able to redeem those points through the American Express travel portal, then the points that you earn on the welcome bonus would give you a value of at least 1 cent per point, which would mean that those points would give you a total value of $1,000. But if you took that even further and transferred out your points to American Express's travel partners, which includes a lot of popular hotels and airlines, then you could get a redemption value of at least 2 cents per point, which would mean that the points that you earn on the welcome bonus would give you a value of $2,000, which would be enough to cancel out the high annual fee on this card for around the first 3 years of having the card. The point multipliers on the AMEX Platinum are going to be 5x back on flights booked directly with airlines or through the American Express travel portal, 5x back on hotels booked through the American Express travel portal, and then 1x back on everything else. Those point multipliers aren't going to be that great, but the AMEX Platinum is mainly known for its super strong travel benefits, and I will get into all of that later in this video. Alright, so if we switch gears and get into the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Sapphire Reserve is Chase's most premium credit card, and it has an annual fee of $550. As of recording this video, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is actually offering a limited time elevated welcome bonus, in which you'll receive 80,000 Chase points after spending $4,000 or more in the first 3 months. If we assume that you can get at least 1 cent per point from those points that you earn on the welcome bonus, then the points that you earn from the welcome bonus would give you a value of $800. But just like the AMEX Platinum, if you transfer those points out to Chase's travel partners, then you should be able to get a redemption value of at least 2 cents per point, which would make the 80,000 points that you get on this welcome bonus have a value of $1,600, which would be enough to cancel out the entire fee on the Chase Sapphire Reserve during the first 3 years of having the card. On the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you will receive some really solid point multipliers, as you'll get 10x back on hotels and car rentals that are booked through the Chase travel portal, 5x back on flights that are booked through the Chase travel portal, 3x back on all other travel worldwide, 3x back on dining, and then 1x back on everything else. So for this category, I would give the edge to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, because while the AMEX Platinum does have a slightly higher welcome bonus, the Sapphire Reserve is going to have significantly better point multipliers and a lower fee to go along with that. But not so fast, because just because the Sapphire Reserve wins this category does not mean that it is going to win every category, because the AMEX Platinum does have some super solid travel benefits that are going to allow it to shine in some other categories. So if we get into the second category that I'm going to use to compare the AMEX Platinum and Sapphire Reserve, that second category is going to be the specific credits on those cards. If we start with the AMEX Platinum, in July of 2021, this card was revamped, in which the annual fee was increased, but the card also added some additional credits. Some people then went to describe the American Express Platinum as more of a coupon book, in which a lot of the credits didn't provide tangible value for most people, but in my opinion, there are still a lot of valuable credits on this card that can help to lower your effective fee. So first, yes, I understand that there are some credits like an Equinox credit and a Walmart Plus credit that aren't necessarily going to provide tangible value for most people, but I'm going to focus on discussing the specific credits that are going to provide value and be able to lower the effective fee for most people. The first credit that is going to be valuable for a lot of people is going to be a $200 hotel credit that you get if you're able to book a stay of 2 nights or more at a fine hotels and resorts or hotel collection property. The next valuable credit is going to be a $240 digital entertainment credit, which is going to be split up into $20 monthly increments and can be used for streaming services such as Audible, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu, Peacock, and more. After that, you'll get a $200 Uber credit, which is maybe the best and easiest to use credit because that credit will be split up into $15 monthly increments and can be used for Uber Eats or Uber Rides. Next, you'll get a $200 airline fee credit, which can be used for things like baggage fees and in-flight food and entertainment. And then finally, the last valuable credit that you'll get with the AMEX Platinum is that you'll get a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, which is going to be split up into a $50 credit for the first half of the year, and then another $50 credit for the second half of the year. Okay, so those are the valuable credits on the AMEX Platinum, but in order to see how much those credits can lower the effective fee on this card, I'm going to give a value to each of those credits and then see how much that can lower your effective fee on the AMEX Platinum. I'll give a $100 value to the $200 hotel credit, a $150 value to the $240 digital entertainment credit, the full $200 value for the Uber credit, a $100 value to the $200 airline fee credit, and then a $50 value to the $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit. So if we add up the values that I assigned to those credits, you would get a value of $600, and that value by itself would lower the effective fee on the AMEX Platinum down from $695 to just $95. Also, for the sake of this video, I was pretty surface level with how I value those credits, but if you want to see my full thought process for how I gave the credits the values that I did, then I do plan to make a video in the future in which I do a full review on the AMEX Platinum, and I'll go through my full thought process in that video. So make sure to subscribe down below if you want to see that video in the future. Alright, so now if we get into the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you are going to get significantly less credits, but it's also going to be way simpler to understand and use. Basically, you're actually only going to receive one credit with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but that credit is going to be really valuable as it's going to be a $300 travel credit that you can use as a statement credit towards any travel-related expenses. As an example, you can use that $300 travel credit towards really anything related to travel, including airlines, hotels, cruise lines, car rental agencies, Airbnbs, buses, and more. So it is going to be pretty easy to use that $300 credit for most people. And if you're able to use the full value from that credit, then you can lower the effective fee on your Sapphire Reserve down from $550 to just $250. But while this credit is really nice, it's still going to be underwhelming in comparison to all of the many credits on the American Express Platinum, especially when you consider that I estimate that you can at least lower your effective fee on the Platinum down to just $95 with all of those credits. And because of this, I would definitely give the edge to the American Express Platinum in this category. But now if we get into the last category that I'm going to use to compare these two credit cards, that last category is going to be based on their intangible benefits and redemption strategies. If we start with the American Express Platinum, this card is known to have some of the best intangible benefits of any credit card out there. The AMEX Platinum will give you access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection, which gives you access to some really nice airport lounges, such as Centurion Lounges, Priority Pass Lounges, Escape Lounges, and Delta Sky Clubs. The AMEX Platinum will also give you automatic Hilton Gold status and Marriott Gold Elite status, which is going to be really valuable, especially if you are someone who stays at these hotels, and some people would even value these statuses in the hundreds of dollars. If you are someone who tends to utilize rental cars when you travel, well then the AMEX Platinum is also going to give you premium car rental status at a number of car rental agencies. And then you'll also get no foreign transaction fees and some protections for car rental damage and trip delays and trip cancellations. Okay, so in terms of redemption options with the AMEX Platinum, there are definitely some best options for redeeming your points, and also some options that you want to try to avoid if possible. So if you want cash back for your points, then the AMEX Platinum does offer you that ability, but you'll only get 0.6 cents per point, which is a pretty low redemption option. So you want to try to avoid that if possible. At the very minimum, you should try to get at least 1 cent per point for your AMEX points. And one way to do that is to book flights through the American Express travel portal. But if you want to take the points that you earn on your AMEX Platinum even further, then one option that I always recommend to people is to transfer your points out to American Express's travel partners. American Express has some fantastic hotel and airline travel partners, and by transferring your AMEX points out to these travel partners, you're able to get a redemption value of at least 2 cents per point, which basically at the very minimum doubles the amount of redemption value that you're able to get from your points. Okay, so now if you move on to the intangible benefits on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the first benefit that you'll get is a Priority Pass Select membership, which basically gives you access to over 1,300 Priority Pass lounges throughout the world. You also get a complimentary DoorDash Dash Pass subscription, which is actually more valuable than you think, because I actually have this premium DoorDash subscription on my Chase Sapphire Preferred, and I've actually been able to save a pretty good amount of money from it. And then just like the AMEX Platinum, you'll also have no foreign transaction fees on the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And then the Chase Sapphire Preferred will also give you primary car rental insurance, lost luggage reimbursement, and trip cancellation insurance. In terms of redemption strategies, this is where the Sapphire Reserve offers some options that the AMEX Platinum does not. What I'm referring to here is that most people should be able to earn at least 1.5 cents per point for the Chase points that they earn on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and that's because this card will give you 50% more value when you redeem your points for travel through the Chase portal. But just like the AMEX Platinum, if you want to maximize your redemption value upside, then the best redemption option with the Chase Sapphire Reserve is going to be to transfer your Chase points out to Chase's travel partners, which will allow you to get at least 2 cents per point in redemption value. So while the Sapphire Reserve does offer some redemption options that are not offered on the AMEX Platinum, I would still give the edge in this category to the AMEX Platinum, and that's because of the fantastic intangible benefits on that card. But I did mention at the start of this video that I'll go over which of these cards is best for you based on your own situation. So I'm now going to go over some specific reasons that some people might decide to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve, as well as some specific reasons that some people might decide to get the American Express Platinum. So the first reason that some people might decide to go with the Chase Sapphire Reserve is because it's a much simpler card to use. What I mean by this is that on the AMEX Platinum, you have so many different credits and intangible benefits that sometimes it can be hard to keep track of. Whereas on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you're just gonna get that one $300 travel credit, and then some other intangible benefits like lounge access. But overall on the Sapphire Reserve, it's gonna be way easier to keep track of all your benefits and make sure that you use all of them. Another reason that it might be best to go with the Chase Sapphire Reserve is if you prefer and really enjoy the Chase ecosystem, and maybe you have some specific use cases to where you can book travel through the Chase portal and then take advantage of the 50% higher redemption value with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Okay, but there definitely are some reasons that you want to go with the AMEX Platinum instead of the Sapphire Reserve. And the first reason is going to be if you were able to get value from all the numerous credits on the American Express Platinum, and you're able to take advantage of all the intangible benefits as well. Next, another reason that you should get the AMEX Platinum is if you get a lot of value from all the intangible benefits on this card. So think like lounge access and elevated hotel statuses and more. Ultimately, both of these credit cards are going to give you some really solid luxury travel perks, such as lounge access, high welcome bonuses, and the ability to transfer your points out to travel partners. But I did say at the start of this video that I'm going to give my opinion on whether the AMEX Platinum or the Sapphire Reserve is the better card. So in my opinion, the American Express Platinum is by far the stronger option over the Chase Sapphire Reserve. First of all, the AMEX Platinum is just super unique because there are not very many credit cards out there on the market that offer a lot of the same benefits that the American Express Platinum does. And if you are someone that is a frequent traveler, then the AMEX Platinum really can't be beat because you'll get some of the best overall travel perks, such as lounge access, hotel elite statuses, multiple credits, and more. And then part of the reason that I don't think the Chase Sapphire Reserve comes anywhere close to being as competitive as the American Express Platinum is because unlike the AMEX Platinum, which is a super unique card, there is another card that is very similar to the Chase Sapphire Reserve that has a significantly lower annual fee, and that card is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So in terms of my strategy for getting the American Express Platinum and Chase Sapphire Reserve in the future, I do plan to get the American Express Platinum sometime in the next couple of years. I did just graduate college, so I want to make sure that I'm in a position to where I can take advantage of all the many travel benefits on that card. However, I pretty much never plan to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve because I already have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which only has a $95 fee, and I get a lot of the same benefits on that card. Plus, Chase has a rule where you can only have one Sapphire card at a time, so I would not be able to have both the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I do really want to make a comparison video in which I compare these cards to another premium card, the Capital One Venture X, which has recently bursted onto the scene and quickly become a favorite in a lot of people's wallets. So if you want to see that video, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video and other impactful videos in the future. And while I did go with the AMEX Platinum for my pick in this video, there are some things that you want to consider before you get that credit card. So make sure you go watch this video next, as it'll talk about some reasons that you might not have considered before to where you might want to avoid the AMEX Platinum. But that'll wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.